Welcome to this introduction to colour.
In this video, we'll be talking about the origin of the colour wheel, some simple ways of using the colour wheel to create colour palettes, and how to use those colour palettes to bring colour into your everyday life.
Now, the colour wheel was created by Sir Isaac Newton in the 17th century. He did a very famous experiment around 1666 where he used a prism to effectively split white light. And that splits into the rainbow of colours because of the different wavelengths. So Newton then decided to organise these colours and he created the colour wheel. So Newton originally defined 6 colours for this wheel. It just fits quite well actually. But he added a 7th because the number 7 has symbolic meaning. 7 days a week is kind of relating to music, is relating to the planets in the solar system at the time. So that's why there are 7 colors in the rainbow, but the color wheel really is based on 6 colors. So in bringing color into our everyday life, if it's an outfit that we want to wear, to design our space, to maybe create a piece of artwork, or even for a logo, graphic design and branding. Where do we start? How can we create a color palette? So one way we can create a color palette is by using complementary colors. And these are colors that sit opposite each other on the wheel. So for example, you have green and red that sit opposite. You have purple and yellow, and you have orange and blue. So how do we build this palette? Let's take orange and blue as an example. So they sit opposite each other. They're harmonious. They contrast. They bounce off each other really, really well. So we have blue and orange right here. So we can use blue and orange. We can add maybe a gold, or we can add a light grey. We can be brave and we can add a bit of black to the blue and the orange, so make them a bit darker. So these are our original blue and orange, and these are the darker versions. With the darker versions, again, we can add gold. We can add brown. We can add a very, very dark grey or a very light grey. And you can immediately see how easy it is to build up a palette here. If you had an interior, for example, you could have a brown sofa with, say, for example, orange cushions, blue curtains, and a blue rug. And automatically, you've got a really nice color scheme that is harmonious and complementary. So let's create another palette using a different method. So back to our wheel. We can create a palette using analogous colors. Now these are colors that sit next to each other on the wheel. So in this example, we're going to use the purple, this blue, and we're going to go for this raspberry color here. These colors together are very harmonious. They essentially share the same base, this purpley kind of bluey kind of tones. So let's see what happens when we add in some other colors. Then in brown, you can see it kind of grounds it, goes a bit warm, a bit earthy. If we add in a dark grey, changes it again, a bit more sophisticated, And then say if we add in a gold, now we go a bit more on the luxurious kind of rich side. Let's look at a third way we can use the color wheel to create a color palette. So back to our wheel. This one is known as Triadic. So it takes 3 colors that essentially form a triangle around the wheel. And they need to be fairly equally distant for it to be harmonious. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the raspberry one at the top. We're going to form a triangle going down here to this turquoise here. And then we're going to finish it and go up there. You've got this light orange here. So then you've got this palette here. So this is now a triadic color palette. So doing the same thing as we did before makes it quite almost like a fancy bar kind of scheme. This could be a really nice, sophisticated home scheme. This also could be a really nice scheme for a home, for a living room. So you can use any three colors that from around the wheel, and they need to form a kind of triangle. So to summarize, we have gone through three methods. First is the complementary method, which takes two colors from opposite ends of the wheel, and you can add in a third color or a fourth color to create your palette. Then we have the analogous color method, which takes 2, 3, 4 colors from around the same side of the wheel. And again, you can add another 1 or 2 colors to complete your palette. The third method is triadic, which takes 3 colors from around the wheel that form a triangle. And then you add 1 or 2 colors to complete the palette. You can use these palettes for an interior design scheme, for an outfit, or for company logos and branding, and of course, to create artwork. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hit like, subscribe, and all of that, and I'll see you on the next video.